Well, this is one of my favourite sailing spots, so from my youth, and when Sony said that we were allowed to show it in Annapolis ahead of it opening on the 28th of June, and we were just delighted because, you know, we love this place. It's a bit surreal. I guess we didn't ever really see this happening, so when Alex, the film director, came to us after I did a talk at his daughter's school and said, you know, I'm a film director, I'd like to make this documentary, we were like, okay. So, I mean, it was a labour of love for them because although we had filmed everything, the footage was everywhere. I mean, they took 2 years to find the footage. It was scattered, you know, all over the world. So the 2 years that they spent looking for the footage, we were actually in the process of rescuing Maiden. So we had these two really strange parallel projects going on the documentary, and Maiden, you know, sort of bringing her back to life, if you like. So she kind of arrived back in my life, you know, sort of 3 or 4 years ago, and now we've ended up with this, I think, extraordinary film. I love what they've done with it. Oh, it's much more than a movie about sailing, as you quite rightly have deduced. It's I think what they've done is they've reminded us in particular about how hard it was to get Maiden to the start line. I think we'd kind of airbrushed that out of our minds. You know, it was quite traumatic. It's a film about endurance, resilience, following your dreams, never giving up. And this is not just about sailing or women, this is for anyone. And we've had men walking out of the theatre with tears streaming down their face going, well, thank goodness it was dark in there. You know, so it's had an electrifying effect on people who've watched it. So it really is for everyone. It's kind of a bit of everything really, because the sexism, particularly in the sailing world at that time, it's interesting though really because it was a force of habit, I think, really, that guys just kept saying, well, of course girls can't do that, because it was something that always said. I didn't think they thought about it. But we did notice that as we went round, you know, the more intelligent of the male species did change their minds. I mean, there were those who were just, you know, oh, it's luck, you know, and all this sort of stuff. But we really did, I think, start to make headway and to change people's minds. And of course, the ocean is your second enemy, if you like. And to win that race, which is always what we set out to do, you know, we didn't want to just get round, as a lot of people thought, oh, they just want to get round in one piece. You know, no, we want to win. Why would you race around the world unless you want to win? So overcoming the obstacles at sea were then our second battle that we had to fight. But I think because we'd fought the first battle, we were such a strong team. When we crossed that start line, we were like, right, now for the next bit, and we were ready. Yeah, so as I say, Maiden burst back into my life 5 years ago now. We found her rotting in the Seychelles, and the marina that was kind of had her there for a couple of years, they were going to take her out and sink her because she wasn't even worth scrap metal at that point. She was in such a bad state. So we did a big crowdfunding thing. We raised the money to buy her, and we bought her in October 2016. And we decided then, what are we going to do with her? So Princess Haya, who's King Hussein's daughter, and of course King Hussein sponsored us the first time, she funded the shipping back to the UK and the restoration. And in November last year, when just at the time we were setting off on our 2.5-year world tour, or our lap of honour as I like to call it, the documentary was just being launched in Toronto Film Festival. So we've had these two parallel projects, as I say. Maiden is now sailing around the world to raise funds and awareness for girls' education. Girls' education is my big passion. I threw away my education, and I now realise what a terrible thing that was to do, because 130 million girls around the world currently don't have the luxury of being given an education. And of course the great thing about having Maiden back out on the water is that it's reviving lots of old memories, and you know, she's still out there banging the drum, and actually we are going to be in Annapolis with Maiden next summer. I think sailing's a great sport because it's about teamwork. You know, unless you're a solo around the world sailor and they're all mad, you know, when you're sailing in a team, you can't hide. You have to be part of that team. I think it teaches good communication skills, good leadership skills. You have to come out of yourself. I've watched girls benefit so much from sailing, and you know, I just think we've got a great thing going in the UK now where we're really getting young girls out onto the water. We've got some great women sailors right at the top. We're missing a bit in the middle. teenage girls tend to drop out of sailing, and we're trying to find what the key is for keeping them in sailing. And I think once we've done that, you know, it is just such a fantastic sport.